Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. The number 13. When a high-rise building is built, sometimes they just skip that floor altogether because people are so terrified of that number. Although one of our founding forefathers wrote 13 virtues that he followed by his life on a daily basis. He would go through life and carry around a small book with these 13 virtues, and he would look at it and assess his daily success or failure based on these virtues. And that man was Benjamin Franklin. And today I'd like to share with you a little bit about these virtues and what they say to me. And rather than try to take all 13 virtues and follow them on a daily basis, maybe you should just pick 2 or 3 that you can improve upon, because there's going to be a lot to go through. And you'll notice the last virtue is extremely difficult, so we'll save that one. Now, I think the most daunting task would be to get Las Vegas to actually follow these 13 virtues. So keep that in the back of your mind as I go through them. Also keep in mind, Ben Franklin strived for these virtues, however, he failed continuously, just as anyone else would. Doesn't mean that you're not keeping your eye on the ball and you're not attempting and shooting for that. Always set your goal high. So, actually in a letter he also sent to his son, William, he listed the virtues and actually recommended that his son follow the same practice of daily trying to follow these virtues. So let's get started on the virtues. The first 8 are personal, and they examine what we do ourselves on a daily basis. The first one is temperance. Eat not to dullness, and drink not to elevation. So that's a lot to take in with the way he wrote. If you read any of Benjamin Franklin's books or any of his writings, you would never think in a million years they were 200 years ago. Absolutely a brilliant writer. So in common terms, don't gorge yourself with food and don't drink yourself silly. Probably not too hard, but at times we find ourselves in that situation. So do you eat until it hurts? Or do you drink so much that it hurts the next day? Second virtue is order. Let all things have their places, and let each part of your business have its time. So, are you organized? And do you manage your time well? Third resolution, resolve to perform what you ought. Perform without fail what you resolve. So what I feel like that's saying is strive to do what is right and then actually do it. So when we set out to do something with a goal in mind, do we actually follow through with it and achieve that goal? Frugality. Make no expense but to do good to others or yourself. So don't be wasteful. I'm guilty of this. I have small things in my life that I really probably don't need on a daily basis, but I still indulge in them. I still enjoy them. So what do you spend on consistently that you really don't need? With moderation being the next virtue, avoid extremes. Forbear resenting injuries so much as you think you deserve. I think everything in life in moderation is good. An extreme of way too much or not enough can be really negative. So do you do anything too often? Do you neglect areas of your life because you're focusing on something that really isn't going to be a value add to your life? And if you don't do those things, does it consume you because it's bothering you because you're not doing it? The next one I really enjoy, and it's industry. Lose no time, be always employed in something useful. Cut off all unnecessary actions. Now, tell me you can't picture someone that you work with, that you watch them go through their workday, and they do these useless acts at times that are not productive, and you're thinking, how on earth do they even get their work done? They're always standing around the water cooler talking. Maybe they're discussing table topics. But they're always doing things that just don't seem to be a value add to their day. And it really bothers me when somebody comes to me and says, I really need help with this. And I say, well, what have you done so far? And they say, well, nothing really. you could have at least made an attempt, right? There's a quote I really like from Thomas Edison. Opportunity is missed by most people because it's dressed in overalls and it's called work. The next virtue is cleanliness. Tolerate no uncleanliness in body, clothes, or habitation. So personally, I'm guilty of this one. If you saw the trunk of my car, it's a very small trunk, but there is a lot of stuff in it. I could really use a better organized trunk. So what do you have that could be cleaned up a bit? Is it the closet? Is it the garage? Is it your office? Is it your files? Is it maybe the incoming mail basket? I don't know if yours is piling over, but mine is. The next virtue is tranquility. Be not disturbed at trifles or at accidents common or unavoidable. This actually speaks to something that Jeremiah spoke about a few weeks ago with road rage. Really, what do you get out of it other than getting more angry at the person and probably just risking being in an accident for no reason? So there's really no value in getting angry. And most of the time, if you just stay calm about it and you kind of giggle about it to yourself like that is really ridiculous that it just happened, oftentimes it's a lot more soothing. So what really gets you going? What really lights your fire and you have a temper about and you don't really know why, but for some reason it just rubs you the wrong way and gives you a short fuse. You should really think about that. Now, the next 5 are while dealing with others. Speak not but what may benefit others or yourself. Avoid trifling conversation. So in other words, don't just babble, don't just talk to talk, but actually have something to say. You know, some people say it's better not to speak at all rather than speak and remove all doubt that you're an idiot. I believe in that. Sincerity. Use no hurtful deceit. Think innocently and justly, and if you speak, speak accordingly. So don't speak poorly of others. Be careful to judge others. First examine yourself prior to going to someone else and telling them that they may have a problem, especially if you have the same one. Justice. Wrong none by doing injuries or omitting the benefits that are your duty. So what that says to me is, will we stop in the middle of the street on a busy day and look at someone and say, you shouldn't be doing that to that child? Will you stop an injustice in action? Or do we just mind our own business and keep on going throughout our day? Chastity is a big one. Rarely use venery, but for health or offspring. Never to dullness, weakness, or the injury of your own or another's peace or reputation. In our society, sex sells. It doesn't mean you should sell it. Everyone in advertising is obsessed with it. This is the last one, and I want you to hang on to this one because it's not an easy task. Humility. Imitate Jesus and Socrates. Think about some of their qualities and see whether or not you can actually emulate them. Mr. Toastmaster?
Thank you very much, Mr. Blasco. If everyone will please